Welcome to your Beginner's Bliss. I'm Jenny and I'm the creator of Blissasana Yoga, and I'm super stoked today to walk you through your basic yoga postures so that we can get ready and set up for a Blissasana Yoga dynamic aspect of our practice. I created this style of yoga to bring bliss into the body. But it's super important before we bring in a lot of dynamic movement and some dancey elements to really understand the basics as far as your postures and your mindset going into your yoga class. So today we're gonna break it down, and then we're gonna start to add a little bit more flow in, teeny bit towards the end, and you can follow along with any of my other videos to check out a true Blissasana yoga style class. So with yoga, there's really three focuses that I like to really think about when I go into my practice. So the first is breath, the second is alignment, and the third is engagement. So I'm sure you've heard, of course, how much breath is important in our everyday lives and of course in yoga. So with yoga, the general thing to do is to breathe in through the nose and exhale out through the nose. This Ujjayi style of breath is really amazing because it helps to regulate the heat in the body, it keeps the mind chatter down, and it helps you to just move from pose to pose more fluidly. It gives you that power, that fuel, that strength. Essentially, without breath, yoga is more of an exercise and a lot less of the mindful experience that most of us are looking for. So make sure that you focus on your breath. The second is alignment. So alignment refers to the different positioning that we're going to take in our yoga postures, which are also known as asanas, yoga asanas, the physical asanas that we take throughout our practice. So for example, if we're in our Warrior II, our alignment's going to refer to where the toes point and where the chest wants to be and the shoulders away from the ears. And even further, as we move down into extended side angle, for example, alignment's going to refer to where the toes are going to stay, where the hand is going to fall, and where your gaze is going to be. So all of that is going to be super important, and will make it super easy for us today. The third thing is going to be engagement. So our muscles are at work here in our poses, and it's super helpful to know what muscles are being worked because we can send that message to our body and strengthen our mind-body connection. We all already have that. So it might sound strange to be like, think about bringing your awareness to your belly to engage belly button to spine. It's like, how do I engage belly button to spine? Well, you just set that as your intention. You bring your attention to that area and you squeeze it as you can physically. So it's a mental and physical connection that we're making. Throughout our practice, we definitely want to keep the belly engaged, squeezed, belly button to spine. That's a cue that you'll hear. And we'll also be referring to our obliques and other areas of our body so that you can be aware of what muscles are at work. All right, so meet me on your mat. Grounding down for Tadasana mountain pose. Really ground down all 10 toes into your mat. So really make sure they're actively pressing into the mat. Keep your weight even across the feet. So make sure you have some weight into the heels. You're not completely forward or completely back. And go ahead and open up the arms. Lengthen through the crown, grow nice and tall like a tree, and close your eyes. If your shoulders are hugged up at all in towards your face or in towards your neck, you want to just relax them down the back. And take a moment to breathe here in this rooted posture. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Keeping the mouth shut on the exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, those arms reach all the way up in your Tadasana. And begin to just bend all the way down to come into chair pose. You can take chair pose with the legs nice and wide like this, and we're essentially just leaning down and sitting into a chair. But you can also step the feet together, which is the variation that I really like to take. You want to have no space in between the legs. Everything is super zipped up, toes are together. Belly button to spine. Inhale, the arms reach up and take a seat here. The heart is lifted, the gaze is lifted, the shoulders are dropping down. So let's inhale back up into Tadasana. Feeling the difference as we extend through the legs, extend through the arms, and release the arms down, draw the shoulders down. Inhale, reach the arms up, take a seat in your chair pose. Squeeze your glutes, squeeze the inner thighs together, reach up, heart up. Exhale, release the arms, coming back into mountain pose, Tadasana. So feeling the difference, this being that resting and rooted pose where you can really bring your breath back anytime during your yoga practice because you're no longer thinking about anything else. So anytime you come to Tadasana, allow that to be your re-engagement of your Ujjayi breath. Take an inhale, sit back into chair, reach the arms up, exhale, Tadasana. Beautiful. So taking the arms all the way up, we're gonna move on. Take an inhale here, take the arms out to the side, squeeze your core, and come down into forward fold. If you're having trouble touching the floor here, bend your knees and allow yourself to just make contact with the floor. The most important part is that your belly is squeezed here, and you're allowed to find that release through the upper body. So release the head, neck, and shoulders here. Excellent. So this is our forward fold pose. Again, the legs can be extended if that's available to you. And then inhale to come into flat back. So in our flat back pose, our halfway lift pose, the fingertips can either be on the ground or onto the shins. And you give yourself a nice flat back. So the gaze starts to lift up, the heart lifts up. Gaze drops back down to the mat into forward fold. Inhale back to halfway lift. Flatten the back. Exhale, hands come down. Beautiful. Now we're going to bend the knees and step the right foot back, plant the hands, step the left foot back. Coming into our downward facing dog pose. So most important here, let's keep the hands spread super wide. All 10 finger pads are pressing into the mat. Heel of the hand is also down. You want to work to keep equal weight in both hands. Dropping the heels down to the mat if you can, or if you need to stay lifted here, you can also have a bent knee. The most important thing is that the heart is melting down towards the thighs, and you're eventually going to be able to get your heels closer to the mat. Make sure that your gaze is back towards your toes, and your belly button to spine engagement is going on. So we're really working through our arms, our triceps, our back muscles, and engaging belly button to spine helps us not dump into the lower back here or lose the posture. So just keep belly button to spine, feeling that stretch through the hamstrings. Next, we're gonna come through to our plank. So when we do so, we lift the hips down, but we stay lifted up through the core. So engage through the core, fingertips spread super wide, gaze to the top of the mat. And press the hips back for downward facing dog. Let the heart melt down, let the gaze go back towards the feet. Then shift the gaze and come through into plank. Engaging the core, pressing up through the arms, and back to downward facing dog. So feeling those subtle differences there as we float from pose to pose. Begin to just bend each knee, walking your dog. Beautiful, hold here, send your gaze forward, inhale, right toes rise, step the right foot between the hands. So first we'll come into Warrior One. Drop that back heel down, left toes are at 45 degrees. Right leg is forward, so toes are pointing forward. Right leg is at a 90-degree angle. Bringing the hips to square forward, chest is forward. So just if you're noticing that your hip is opening too much on the left side, bring it forward and inhale the arms up. So stay right where you are, and I'll just make sure to show you from this side. So again, left toes are out towards the left, right toes are forward, big 90-degree angle into that right leg, and begin to just send the hips forward, chest forward, open up the arms, take a slight back bend. Inhale, the hands can come to prayer for a moment, drop the shoulders down, and inhale the arms up. Another great cue to help you stay stable here is to root down through the big toe first, and then allow it to continue through the rest of the feet. Another great tip, A lot of people may find themselves here. This is our pyramid pose. So if you can, this pose is gonna give you the most if you can super bend into that right leg. Again, bringing that left hip forward, bringing the heart up. If your heart isn't up and you're kind of just chilling in this pose, or you're not really reaching back, you may not be getting as much from the posture. So check in with your body, and if it seems like you need a little bit more, take a nice back bend and gaze up. Beautiful. So in Blissasana, one thing that I like to do is scoop the ground and reach up. So even as we're doing that in our Blissasana practice, we're not losing the engagement of that right leg. So we're not coming up through the right leg. In fact, we're just keeping it bent. Beautiful. So let's hold here in our Warrior I. Now we're going to come into Warrior II. So I want you to pay special attention to that left foot. Right now, the left heel is a bit on an angle, but what's going to happen is the left foot is going to come straight out to the side of your mat. So really what you want is your right heel to be in line with your left arch. Always check that on your mat. You also want to check the length of your Warrior II. If it's super short, you're not going to get the most out of the pose 9 times out of 10. So making sure that the stance is super wide is going to allow you to really, really feel into this pose. Deep bend into the right knee. Hips are squared off to the side. Arms drop. Gaze is over right hand. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. So simply just take them down. You don't want to be hugged up here hurting your neck. There's really no space between the fingertips, and the gaze comes to the fingertips. Left leg is straight. Big energy through the heels, big energy through the core. So in my classes, I love to take this variation where we come up, straighten out the right leg, and then lower down. So when you do practice with me through future videos, if you've already practiced, you know that this just feels so good in the body. It's very opening for the chest. And it's just a nice way to engage your Warrior II deeper each time. So that's my recommendation. As you come down, engage more each time. And then finally hold here even deeper than you were before. And root down through that right big toe. Amazing. Our variation of this will drop the left hand either into the right hip crease or down onto that left thigh and reach the right arm back for our peaceful warrior. Right fingertips reach over to the left. And you're really getting that awesome stretch to the right side body. And let's release it out. We're going to take it to the other side so that there's no confusion. Starting with our Warrior I, pointing right toes out to 45 degrees. Left toes are forward. Big bend into that left leg. Draw the right hip back towards the left. Inhale to open up the heart. Root down through both big toes. Really make sure that you're not balancing too much on the toes or onto the heels, and open up the heart. Engage the core and begin to find some circles down on this left side. So you don't have to go as low if you're having any issues with that. Just come as far down as it feels good. But the most important part is to keep that left leg bent. Awesome. Let's hold in our Warrior I. If that right hip has begun to sneak out too far, just bring it back. Awesome. Cartwheel the arms out, turn the right toes. Make sure that left heel is in line with right arch. Right toes are all the way out. Left toes are forward. Hips are squared off towards the side. Shoulders are away from the ears. Bend down into that left leg. Gaze out over left fingertips. Shoulders away from ears, holding here. Breathing into this posture, making any adjustments you need to. Make sure you have a nice wide stance. You can always widen it to get a little bit more out of it. Inhale to come up. Exhale to lower. Nice. Beautiful. I love it. Hold here, gaze over left fingertips. And draw both legs forward. So that is going to be our main focus for our alignment and our awareness of our muscle engagement for those postures. We will do one more. We're going to come into triangle pose. So extend the right leg out, left toes come forward. Nice wide stance. So with triangle, we're going to keep the heart open, and we're going to use our side obliques to really work on each side to bring us down. So specifically that left side is going to work when we come down on the right. Super important here that heel is in line with left arch. And again, that you have a nice big wide stance. When we come down, we want to open the arms, reach into that right arm first. And when we lower down, the arm can go down to the thigh, down to the ankle. And especially when you do that, that left oblique is going to engage. So extend the arms out, root down into the toes, and lower down to where it feels good for you. Straighten out that left arm, gaze up to the left arm, feeling your left oblique at work. Inhale to come up. Exhale, send left arm back behind you, reach right arm across. Beautiful. Inhale here. Exhale, lower. So checking in here, you can make any adjustments if you need to be a little bit higher. The most important thing is to stay open through the heart. One of the common things that we'll see is people rounding forward like this. We're so used to doing that with our computers and our lifestyle. So really just open through the heart. Give yourself that heart opener. And inhale to come up and find your reverse. Beautiful. Turn the right toes forward, left toes come out. Square those hips off towards the side. Open those arms. Engage the oblique, coming all the way down. Remembering not to collapse, but open through the heart. Gaze up to the right hand. People like to describe this like you're in between two panes of glass. Just think about not collapsing forward. Understanding the why behind that is key. So you really want to stay open through the chest. This is a heart opening pose and it's an amazing one. And as you come up into reverse to get that stretch, you're engaging that right oblique. So it's also an amazing stretch. Reach left arm back. Inhale to come back down. Exhale to reach up. Beautiful. I love it. Great job. And let's hold here. Just to finish it off, we're gonna go through my favorite Blissasana pose called the Bliss Ups. Bend into the right leg, take the arms up onto the right side, pull with that left arm. Bend through the knees, pull back with that right arm. So here we're just sweeping back and forth and we're working off the momentum. So eventually you're gonna be able to go super fast, right to left. Pull with that inner arm, stay bent through the knees. A big mistake to make here would be to keep the legs extended and to try to do this. You would be straining your back. I don't even know if it's possible. So go ahead and bend into that right side, pull that left arm back. Bend into that left side, pull that right arm back. And find your momentum. Keep your breath victorious, breathing in through the nose, exhaling out. Just feeling all that bliss within your body as you just open up here and find some joyful movement. Beautiful. Last one. Inhale, the arms reach all the way up. Amazing, amazing practicing with you today. You've just gotten some foundations for your asana yoga practice. This will apply to your Blissasana practice here on YouTube and also all of the series that we have online on blissasana.com. So this is just a little taste of what's to come. I cannot wait to practice with you more, and if we've been practicing already together, I just want to thank you for being a part of the Bliss Squad. I hope that this was helpful to you in your yoga practice, and I can't wait to see you more on my Blissasana channel. See y'all later. Bye. If you're loving the Costa Rica lifestyle and all of the scenery here and the vibes, join me for my Elemental Blissasana series, which we explore all of the 5 elements of nature. And it's a super, super exciting way to really just refine your yoga practice and also find balance in your natural elements that are within. So I hope you'll join me for that. There is a link below for that, and also feel free to subscribe, comment, let me know how you feel after this practice. Like, I want to know, are you dripping with sweat? Are you smiling more than you were before? All the love, all the bliss. Peace out.